Good morning. It's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. This is take 2, technical malfunctions. That's all I can say. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by. And if you're one of the friends who's been here before, welcome back. So today is October 2nd and it's Dark October Stitching, hosted by Emily C. from Eclectic Possessions and Michelle from Cozy Egg. So I think that is a genius way to enter October. I'm going to show you a couple of big finishes that I had today, but also what I plan to work on in October and a couple of prior finishes too. So welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. If you're here for something else, this is not Chemistry 101. You're in the wrong class. Just kidding. So the first thing I want to show you is the finish that I have since the last time we met. And the last video I was all about Quilter Station Retreat, the things that we did, stuff that we bought, the friends that we met up with. This video is all about stitching. I do have a retreat in a couple weeks. I'm not ready for it. I have not stitched my small exchange yet. I'm supposed to stitch a name tag. I haven't done that yet. I have things to do, but it's all right. I got 2 big finishes and I'm excited to show you what those are. So I have a blonde and brunette rotation, and what that means is that I stitch a week at a time on 2 different projects. So one week I stitch on a light color palette, that's my blonde, and the next week I stitch on a darker color palette. And for me, that keeps me engaged. It's long enough for me to make progress, and it's not so long that I get completely burnt out on the project. Although this last week, was it last week? Yes. I was a little tired of the 2 projects I've been working on because they were big ones. And I decided to break from Garden Club series for a week because even though this is a rotation, I do what I want. I decided to work on something else that had been calling for me for quite a while, and it's Fallen Roses by Lavender and Lace. Now, I have always loved this project. I started it a few years ago, and I had stitched down, I stitched here, here, and part of here, and some of the lady had been done, like her head and part of her arm was done. And I knew that I was either going to design something to go in here, and I was thinking about like a bust of Mr. Darcy, Colin Firth Mr. Darcy, because yes, he's my favorite Mr. Darcy, or abbreviate the bottom of this because I didn't really want to stitch all of this. To me, it just needs something else in there, and if I wasn't going to stitch something else and nothing was calling to me, I just decided to change it. So I ended up not designing Mr. Darcy. Instead, I pulled this rose band all the way across, and I picked up this band and brought it up, and then I stitched a little doodad underneath it. So, and then the roses that are kind of spilling out here that make a big kind of a swirl, I just abbreviated that. So let me show you how she came out. This, I also did make a couple of thread changes. I love her. Isn't she so pretty? She is so pretty. Such a pretty. This is on 40 count vintage exemplar by Lakeside, when you could get Lakeside. This background color here is Seaweed by Gloriana. I did change that one. It's a purple, green, teal. Let me see if I get closer. Can you see the variegation? Oh yeah, you can. And it's just so pretty with this fabric. I love the way this turned out. The gold, so all of the hearts have a little bit of gold around them. And then this one, you can kind of see the sparkle there. I changed that from Krynic, or Krynic, however you say it, to Petite Treasure Braid 40, PB 40. And I just love the way she turned out. So sometimes the full pattern doesn't have to be stitched. It can be something that's not quite as long and still have as much of an impact. So I had 2 finishes actually, and that's the first one. And let me go ahead and put her to the side. The second one is my brunette that I've been working on. And if you've seen it on Instagram, you know that this is a big finish. This is Hoity Toity. Let me see. I think I have I don't know if I have the picture here. It doesn't really matter. This is a Long Dog sampler, Hoity Toity. I started this in 2018. People ask me, how long did it take you to stitch that? I don't know. Because I stitch on something for a while and then I put it away for a couple of years. And then I might stitch a little bit and put it away. Or I might just keep working on it, which is what happened in this case. So here is Hoity Toity by Long Dog Samplers. And I absolutely am in love with this pattern. It's so dramatic and it's so impactful. I can't wait. I'm going to hopefully put a big chunky scrolly frame on it. I would love to find an antique frame, but I don't know if that's going to happen. This is called for DMC threads. I just love it, even more than the conversions, the silk conversions that people have come up with. I really just like the color palette of the DMC. I did change, this background was gray in the pattern, and I didn't want gray, so I chose the same kind of cardinal color. I think it's 3822, 3722, something like that. 3828, I don't know. It's whatever this color is in the pattern. So I did not introduce any different colors. I just changed that one spot to a different one on the palette. This is stitched on 40 count pecan butter. It's not vintage, it's Lakeside. It's vintage, 40 count pecan butter, which is a great, very neutral, soft color. It's not mottled at all, and it doesn't have the vintage kind of grayish that causes the mottling for the Lakeside linen. So again, I just love her. So exciting. Two big finishes. So you would think that that would really help my whip count, because I had 74. Did I have 74? I did. And I took 2 off, but I added 1 in because I started one at Quilter Station. It was the Beth Twist piece, and that one won't take long to finish. So whether I get that one done this year or not, I'm not sure. If not, I'll work on it next year, and it's going to be a quickie. So let me show you a few prior finishes that I had. This one is a Plum Street, and it was a Scary Bowl. I don't remember what number it is, but it is, I finished it as a small, clearly. I put chenille trim on it, and I did the stuffing through the back and put the wool on the back here. I'm not sure if, and you can actually, no, I don't think I did that. I think I just put this on there just because you can tuck needles in, scissors right in here. It's a little scissor tuck on the back. I don't think I did cut that in the back. I think I tried that on one, and it's not really for me. I really am all right with doing it from a side. On this one, it's got poly, but it's also got some walnut shells in it, but the corners are a little limp. If I were to do this again, I would probably stuff maybe yarn in the corners, which is what Linda Stoltz with Erica Michaels Designs, when she gave a presentation at a retreat I was at on strawberries, that's what her hint to make the tip of the strawberry real firm is to push in some yarn to pack it in. I think you could do the same thing on a pillow. So that's the first one. I have no idea what fabric that's stitched on. And this one, I think this is a Scarlet House, and this is Pumpkins and Bittersweet. And this is charted 2 ways. You can either do it over 2 or over 1, and I chose the over 1, which was perfectly fine. I put, I don't know what, I think this is a Lady Dot Creates, and this is just what I had in my stash in the back. So that one, and this one's filled with walnut shells. It just makes you want to bite it. This was a gift exchange. This is one of the very first gift exchanges I did. I got this as a present from a fellow stitcher. This is a freebie. I can't remember who it's by. If it's by, it sort of looks like a Sampler's Not Forgotten. I'm sorry, no, Not Forgotten Farms. It sort of looks like a freebie maybe that she had. I stitched this also for myself for a different finish that I haven't done. But isn't that a sweet one? This is full of, it feels like walnut shells, but it almost feels like they're a little bit bigger, and it's super slouchy, and I love that about it. It just sort of sits nicely in the middle of my display. So aside from my two big finishes, I also picked up and started working on a previous whip, which is, oh, here it is. Bobbing for Pumpkins by Brenda Gervais. And this is being stitched on 40 count. I think it might be 18th century rook, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at a previous Instagram post. This is going super fast. And I'm not sure if I'll keep that maroon color or if I will maybe lighten it up a little bit so it shows better on the video than maybe it shows in real life. It's kind of close to this. We'll see. I'll probably stitch the whole thing and then make a decision if I'm going to make any changes or not. I do have a finish in mind for this. I'll probably get this stitched this year and not fully finished, because that's sort of what I do. But I do love this. It is pretty much the called for threads. The only substitution I made was a black, and I instead of carriage black, I chose Onyx by Weeks because I had it in my stash. So those are the whips that I've worked on. And oh, I want to show you a couple of other previous finishes. I'm kind of everywhere today. Here, there, and everywhere. This is out of a Leisure Arts book. And I think it's like a holiday book. I think that's the name of it. It's like cross stitching holidays. I'm not sure. I'm going to move this over here. It's a little bit easier on this side. This is when the Owl and the Witch together are seen. There's mischief brewing on Halloween, which I love this. I've showed this on a previous video, and a couple people said, hey, I stitched that before too. I want to say I stitched this in the 90s. And I just put some fabric on the bottom. This looks like, you know who this looks like? This looks like Teresa Kogut right there. I don't think it is, but, and then I fringed the bottom, which I'll have to kind of comb that out. It has a dowel that goes to the top, and I string a Halloween ribbon from the ends of the dowels to the top to hang it on the wall. So that's a fun finish. Now this one, this looks like it's about a 25 or a 28 count, and I want to say I stitched that in 3 DMC threads. It was thick, totally thick. And then this is a this was a finish and recent frame this past year. This is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm, and I know that Emily C just finished this too. Hers is beautiful. She did her own fabric dyeing on it, and I just love seeing people's changes, what they do differently with the design. I think that's very interesting and fun to see our own personal tastes come out. So framing is by Patty Nicolosi. She's on Facebook. It was funny when she gave me some frame options because it was all done, you know, through email. And she gave me some blue options because I substituted the dark blue and the light blue for two different, they're like carriage black and something else. And I wanted it to be more like the picture, which sort of to me looked bluish. And she gave me some blue, she gave me some black, some browns, and then she came up with this one. And I'm like, bingo, that's the one I want. And she's like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I want this sort of distressed look up next to the floral border. So I loved it. That was my other, I think that's my other last previous finish. Yes. I'm a little all over the place today. Now, so as we go into, oh, you know what? I wanted to share this. Another stitcher had won this in the gift exchange at Amana retreat for Midwest. And isn't this sweet? It's got little counting pins inside. And this was the stitcher's very first finish. And I was so excited to get this because we have to, you know, support each other. And everyone has a first finish. Everyone is nervous about the first time they gift something too. So she did an amazing job. I was thrilled to get that. I can't remember who it was though. I'm sorry. So what am I going to work on in October? Now that I have a spot in my stitching rotation, if you will, my brunettes finished, I have two, let's see, what am I going to do? So my Garden Club series is the blonde that's still in rotation. I'm going to continue to work on her weeks that she's up for stitching. And I probably will do a mini gold. So because that Garden Club series by Blackbird is a compilation of several smaller designs, I will probably make a small gold to finish one of those each week, which you can do in a couple of 2-3 days. Totally doable. They're not super stitch heavy. Well, some of them are more than others, but I will just make a smaller goal for that week. And then I will work on 2 other fall pieces that I'm itching to start back in on. These are all whips. Both of these are whips. One's a little bit farther along than the other. And the first one is, hold on just a second. This first one is in my bag. Oh, by the way, as I whip down, I'm probably going to reduce the number of project bags I have, and I'll probably give some of those away. These are all ones that I've done. Some of them longer ago than others, but I'm going to work on Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain by Kathy Barrick. I've done the middle. So the story with this one is that I have a fat quarter of Mossy hand dyed by Stephanie. And if I stitched it over 2, and it's a 32 count fabric, I had it as a fabric of the month. If I stitched this over 2, I would have had a 1/2 inch all the way around border to frame it, and I wasn't going to do that. But I toiled and thought about this, and I decided to finally stitch it over 1. I thought about ordering more fabric, and then I just thought, nope, I'm just going to stitch it over 1. So this is a very light mottled green. I think I'll just hold up the fabric and see if we can get a picture of you can kind of see the very light mottling on the fabric. It's a little bit blown out here in my lighting. It is sort of a dirty green. I love it though. So here's the picture, and here's where I am. I'm in the middle, working my way down, and then I'll probably pick up I'll probably stitch these 2 girls this month, and then I'll get this tree, as much of that done. I'm not sure if I'll stitch this beyond the month of October, but I wanted to create some space in my stitching calendar to work on some seasonal things, because I love stitching in season. It really, I get in the mood for that. And that's how I maintain a rotation without being strict on my rotation, if you will. But look at how tiny this is. It's so cute. And this is stitched with DMCs. Again, that's DMC threads straight up. So that one I'm going to work on, and I'm excited to get back to that. I expect I'll finish bobbing for pumpkins, and then I'll work on, I won't finish Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. There's a lot of stitching on that. And that's in this bag, my owl bag, that had a fun kind of this shows more red. It's really a burnt orange in real life. And then the next one, I 100% blame on Julie McConnell, because she talked about a couple different colorways of this on one video. And so, yes, I did that. I changed it. Actually, let me pull this up. She talked about stitching it on a lighter fabric and stitching it on a darker fabric. And so as I thought about that, I immediately bought the pattern, bought the fabric, and I'm stitching it on a little bit of a darker, richer colorway. So that means that as I stitch this, there might be some DMCs that I have to, this is also DMC that I have to switch out. This is being stitched on 46 count Mocha by Weeks on a Zweigart based fabric. And I just have the tiniest little start on it. Just a teeny tiny little start. This is actually showing just a skosh lighter than it is in real life. Not much, just a little bit. But it's so, I mean, here we go, another long dog, right? And these colors knock me out. Absolutely knock me out. They're so cute. I think this will go quickly. I might stitch this one until it's done. And I should have some leftover fabric for that. This is in my, I might have to switch things around. This is in a non-fall bag. Very much like a springish bag, but I need to organize my stuff a little more, I think. Righty, what else? Oh. Beep, beep, beep. Acorns and Threads Janine has her website up. So for those of you who are like me and do our best shopping at about midnight, check out her site. She's loading more and more every day. She's starting with patterns. She has quite a few patterns on there right now. And she will add threads and fabric at some point. But I'm so excited for her because this is the next step in expanding her business, which is fantastic. Her store has expanded. It's beautiful. It's so nice in there. Lots of room to walk around. So much to see. But I saw the Needlework Expo releases, and I don't know if Stacy Nash, I'm not sure if she released through Expo or she just released on her own. But when I saw it, I was like, I need to have this. So before I went onto the website, I IM'd Janine. I said, I need one of everything that Stacy Nash has released. Here, I'll show you this in a minute. But this is all part of the haul. And I got a new bag. Acorns and Threads, limited edition, 25 years. Check it out. So the first thing I saw was this owl waxer. And I was like, oh, I have to have that. So I got that. And then I also have she has a cabin waxer before, but it was in the yellow beeswax. And this one is stained black. So it's a log cabin. And this one is I'm going to take this one out because it's so sweet. This is a witch waxer. Isn't that amazing? I just love that. We had a surprise shower for Linda Jo, Pretty Southern, and Audrey was there. And I had just gone and bought this stuff, and Audrey's like, ooh, I need that waxer. I tried to give it to her, but she wouldn't take it. And the patterns that I picked up, well, I did pick up this Brenda Gervais one because, as Janine says, it's a collection. You have to get them all. It's a collection. I'm like, I'm not going to be brainwashed, but I will buy that one. So I picked up that. I also saw this hanging on the wall. This is stunning. I don't know that I've ever seen this pattern at Beth's. This is Heartstring Samplery Summertime Coverlet. And it's stitched sort of in it's not a black, it's a black gray. Gorgeous. Super, just very pretty. Very, very pretty. So I picked that one up. And then I also picked up an exclusive from Liz Matthews, Needle in Hand. This is an exclusive for Acorns and Threads. Look at that. Is that not just sweetness? Love that. So you can only buy that one through Acorns and Threads right now. And then here are the Stacy Nash. Of course, I bought this one. Everybody and their dogs bought this one. Autumn House Pin Keep. Is that what it is? No, Butternut House Pin Keep. So pretty. This one, Who Do You Pin Keep? That would take about 5 minutes to stitch. This one, Jack-o'-lantern Sewing Pocket and Chatelaine. Holy cow. Love that. And then First Snowfall Pin Keep. So pretty. I also picked up a couple of fabrics. This is Weeks Linen Cappuccino. Now this sort of has like a pumpkin-y color to it. And it's like, must be a fat 16th. It's a half, maybe a fat, yeah, fat 8th maybe. 13 by 11, 18, I'm not sure. Fat core is 18 by 27, so it must be a fat 8th. And then some 46 count parchment by Weeks. And I have plans for this. May not start this year, but it might, you never know. Then last, I ordered this after the Quilter Station retreat, and I had seen this pattern at Maggie Benonomies. I didn't buy it because I really wanted the kit. And so Tanya from Blackberry Primitives sat right behind me at the retreat, and we were chatting. I asked her if she had this pattern and the kit on her website, and she said yes. So when I got home, I promptly ordered it. This is Chateau Boxwood. Chateau Boxwood, yep, by Maggie Benonomy. And isn't that sweet? I can't wait to do this one. So Valerie Stitching in the Barn made a comment when I showed this on Instagram. She said, Lori Textilis and I vote you president of the Mutual Enablers Club. I said, does that come with a raise? And I didn't get a response. So the raise from 0 is going to be something, right? But so Maggie's story with this is that one of her, maybe a nephew, got married, I want to say in France. And this is her commemorative piece of that wedding. I mean, and look at all the goods, all the beautiful fabrics. And Tanya's like, well, this white one that is in here it comes as an antique linen. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. It is a beautiful quality linen. Now this is a different linen. It's like more like a bed linen. It's not a linen that you would use for cross stitching. It is so soft. It is so beautiful. Tanya does an amazing job. She also tucked in here a piece of her own linen that she dyes. This is biscotti. Again, this is more of a foundation for applique or wool applique. It's a beautiful neutral. It's like maybe DMC 844 would be a close guess. It's sort of a grayish taupish color. And I can't wait. I can't wait to use it. I'm just so excited for this project. I'm trying not to start more whips, so we shall see. We shall see if I succeed or not. What else is going on? So I have that retreat in Amana in 2 weeks. And the next, and my husband has hunting all month. So this is the month where, I mean, I can eat cereal for dinner every night if I want to. No big deal, right? Although my husband does the cooking. And sometimes I end up going to my mom's and my sister's and hanging out with them for a while. I might go to Lori's. I might work a week at Lori's house. That would be fun. And then when I'm not working, then we can hang out and do stuff. The next retreat after that is in December, and it's at Crabapple Hill. So Crabapple Hill is by Meg Hockey. So Olivia Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, her Hocus Pocusville, I think is the name of that series. The quilt behind her is by Meg Hockey. And so Meg does that. She's an embroiderer. And her designs, she either colors, you trace it on with a pen onto muslin, and like a micron pen, so a very fine, like brown color pen. And then you color the background, you color the whole piece in white crayon. Then you follow a color key chart, like paint by numbers, and you use other crayons to create shading and highlighting, and you color the whole piece. And then you heat set it. And then you embroider on the lines that you traced on there. And her stuff, I've been to 2 of her retreats. They are amazing. She also has some used Prismacolors. So if you want more saturated color or density of color, she also has used Prismacolors on some of her designs. She does fantastic Halloween designs. She does fantastic Christmas designs. And her studio set up, so it looks like a barn, her retreat center, and it's sort of a cantilevered ceiling that comes out. And part of the structure is all of the seasonal finishes that she has. And it is like, it's inspirational. That woman has created so many patterns and so many beautiful finishes. I want to buy everything that she makes. And I do. And she does her stitching with Cosmo Floss. So her retreats are difficult to get into. You have to plan about 2 years in advance. And I haven't gotten into a fall retreat yet. When you're there, you also do things like we've made scissor fobs. We've made ruffle bags. Usually there's 1 or 2 other things that you're doing in addition to the patterns and kits that you get for being at the retreat. she'll discount her merchandise for you to buy while you're there too. And she has, in the middle of her retreat center, she has huge oval tables that fit about 20 people. And I would say there's 3 tables. So you get to meet a lot of people. So at the stitching retreats I've been to, it's usually like 6 people, maybe 8 people at a table. You get to meet more people this way. They cater it and it's delicious. Her husband does the catering, I believe. What else? You can go online and see her stuff on Crabapple Hill. I think it's crabapple.com. Just Google Crabapple Hill and until you find her. Oops, sorry. I think I'm making the camera jiggle a little bit. But she's incredible. That's in December that we're scheduled to go to that retreat. Sometimes a couple things have affected her. So she has canceled some of her retreats this year because of COVID and rescheduled. This is the second year in a row she's had to do that. So if it is surging in her area, she will cancel it and postpone it. And the other thing is that I went over White Pass, which is, there's a mountain range between here and her, where she lives. She's in Eastern Washington. And it was so charming when I went. It was December, and as you go up to the top of the pass, there's a ski resort that comes right down to the roadway. So there's skiers just right there. And it was a clear day, and people were just, it felt like I was in, Vermont. And it was beautiful. There were lakes up there, and it was such gorgeous scenery, but it was 27 degrees and slick. So I had to be very careful going over the pass. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit about going to a retreat in December. Boy, I prattle on about that. And I have a lot of her stuff, and I really need to just sit down and do it because her stuff stitches up pretty quickly. And it's so much fun to see it reveal itself to you. That's what I have. That's what's in the future. And I'm looking forward to the second half of this year, this last quarter of this year, really trying to achieve some of my goals to get my WIPs under 70. And I'm confident it's going to happen. It might be last minute, but I'm just really trying not to start more things. We'll see if I have any discipline left by the end of the year. Well, I put everything away and then I realized I didn't do my giveaway. So I'm tucking this somewhere toward the end of the video, this little clip, and I want to talk about the prior winners who haven't claimed prior giveaways and a current giveaway that I have. So just one last reminder, this was 2 or 3 videos ago, the rose sampler. The winner of that one was Loretta Mullen, and she's the redraw. So Loretta, if you don't claim this by my next video, I'm just going to roll it over into the next video as another giveaway. That's Loretta Mullen, M-U-L-L-E-N. I'll put my email in the drop-down box below. Then these are 2 that were the last 2 videos ago. This is the American sampler, and that winner was Liz Florum, F-L-O-R-O-M. And then this is Joyous, Be Joyous, and the winner of that was Ellen Stratton. So those 2 winners, if you could please reach out to me by email, let me know your address and I'll drop those in the mail. And the 2 other winners who did contact me, I still have your patterns. They're all ready to go in my car, and I haven't left my house for like a week and a half. So I hope to get to the mailbox today, the post office today. This is one of the last giveaways. This is difficult for me to give away. I really wanted to keep this one. Jobiana 1841 by From the Heart Needle Art, Wendy Pete Ross. And that winner is Mary McCarty, M-C-C-A-R-T-Y, Mary McCarty. I'll put a comment on your comment, Mary. Please email me with your address. And then the winner of the out of print Blackbird with Thy Needle, I think that's what this one is called, with My Needle, was Linda Meltz, M-E-L-Z. Linda, please get a hold of me as well so I can mail those to you. I have 4 patterns to give away this time. 2 come from a viewer who asked me if she could mail me a couple of charts. And one of them is because this is a WIP of mine that I probably will pull out in November. It is called Gathering Pine Cones, and it has the button. And they're like ceramic. These are really nice. This is a hillside samplings pattern. There are some specialty stitches in it. She sent a second one, A is for Acorn, also by Hillside Samplings and also with a button. So Alice, thank you so much. Thank you for reaching out to me and asking if you could mail these. Everyone appreciates this. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you would like to win A is for Acorns, please write Acorn in your comment. And if you would like to win Gathering Pine Cones, please put Pine Cone in your comment. Then I have the Fallen Roses pattern. I'm done with that. I'm not going to stitch that again. If you want to win that one, just please put roses in your comment. And then Hoity Toity, I have the hard copy, not a PDF, to share it. Some of these are a little bit, I mean, they've had a little bit of wear now that I've used them, but just go ahead and put Long Dog in your comment if you want to win Hoity Toity. And I will draw at the next video. Sorry about the insert. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping in and visiting with me. As always, take care, and I'll see you the next video.